trace the electric streams to...
Welcome everyone to an increasingly more often dual YouTube Twitch live stream because we have things to say. For years I roll here the drum beat of things getting more broken. Everyone knows bloat regressions, right? But seeing is believing, right? Because otherwise people on some open source wannabe news sites, it's like, hey, stuff is deleted, everything is getting more amazing. And as you now recurring subscribers here, we try just like total information overload now. Probably next I need to like shall I subscribe, I need an assistant. Because today also wrong. Why do we have today behind the scene camera, you share, like and subscribe enough, you get behind the scenes camera. So I wanted to show you something because I'm entirely shocked. Because I know stuff is broken and we try to like Xorg and Linux and stuff, right? And lo and behold, I have for you here a decade-old, 15-year-old T2 Linux, which we do. Because the thing is, I auctioned myself, as I do, I collected some amazing things. Other people e-wasted, destroyed and stuff. So this is my precious transmitter efficient thin client, seen in previous videos, but this is new, this just arrived yesterday. This is the first RAM bus GPU, or RAM bus using CPU. This is a Cirrus Logic graphic card, GDL 5464, and the first and last 3D deaccelerator by Cirrus Logic. I didn't even know that this existed. Probably you didn't know that it existed. But case in point, it's running this KDE3 here, and I'm shocked. Because the thing is, as per usual, I like to collect those things and theoretically, hey, write new drivers and stuff. And there's of course a Cirrus Logic driver, and it is even emulated by QEMU. And so this, yes, this is totally cursed different. It's a transmitter, it's a code morphing CPU, right? Back in when there were more than 2 x86 vendors, 1.2 freaking gigahertz. So what are we working with? We are working with 1.2 code morphed, aka slower, x86 to very large instruction word translation in software. Here, the company where ironically Linus Torvalds somehow worked a little bit 25 years ago. And this is a thin client. This was not sold as a desktop, right? This was sold by Hewlett Packard as a thin client, although at that time, 20 years ago, it was the highest end thin client. I, of course, pimped this up a little bit, so I network boot this and stuff, right? So you can use it as a desktop. 1 GB memory, so 1.2 gigahertz, very large instruction code morphed CPU, only 1 point, which high end, right? High end. Back in the day, and Apple sold it until some years ago. Only 1 GB memory, and this is only 2 MB. I wish I had more, but 2 MB Nintendo 64, like room RAM bus card that theoretically has a driver, but of course the driver is entirely broken. So the only reason I booted this old KDE, where's my mouse? So this old KDE, and you probably want to see this theoretically, and if I find this here, yes, poor mensch, like yeah. Here in our bunker. So this is completely snappy. I mean, completely snappy, but like even occupied Windows. I mean, yes, a little bit redraw and stuff, but like this is entirely impossible with the model. So what is the difference? I would love to show you. So this is workable, right? Like you can do your stuff, you can do your home directory, and yes, it's a little bit loading, a little bit whatever. But like the point is like this comes up here, there's a little bit slowish. However, this is running over NFS, right? This is not using built-in SSD. This is going slowly there to servers there in the corner. This is coming from a network file system. So natively, of course, once loaded, like I should have been more clever. I should have preloaded this. Like this, my point is this UI, and this is what people don't want to believe, right? All the Phoronix haters, all the Linux kernel, all the new people to new computing. This cannot be done. This is old crap that should be recycled and e-wasted. First of all, this is vintage stuff. This is the history of computing. Alternative x86 vendors, transmitter, code morphing, stuff really done. Like on the hardware, on the silicon, high performance x86 recompiling code morphing to very large instruction word. Why do I collect this stuff? Because these are outstanding pieces of living computer history. And this graphic card, back in the day, I did not even hear, like I knew ATI, NVIDIA 3DFX S3, I did not even knew, like back in the day and stuff, I did not even know that Cirrus Logic made GPUs. I did not even know that they made a 3D GPU and so on. So even this, why did I got it even cheap? And this is even a prototype. Like I got it dirt cheap because other people throw it away. And now I don't even, not only have a collectible item of like the first Rambus GPU and the first and the last from Cirrus, which we could write a driver for. And to show you, like this is basically the worst case scenario of 20-year-old tech, like totally cursed x86 GPU stuff. And this is what we could have, right? And then imagine, sure, you do not need to use this 20-year-old stuff. Imagine how snappy your modern stuff is. If this stuff, and this is why do I make this video? This performance shocked me. I remembered, hey, this is what, this gray old man telling stories at the bonfire from war times, from before the war, and yeah, he's fantasizing some stuff together. This is, and so I only installed this not to make this video. I installed this because I can show you the latest Xorg does not even work on this card anymore. Like it's usual. I only wanted to debug, can we make this card work again in Xorg? The frame buffer driver, I could not even, the stuff is so broken and deleted. Even I, with 25 years of experience, I write you a new Linux kernel driver in 3 hours, but in 3 hours I could not even get the stupid frame buffer driver of all things to start. The Cirrus Logic driver that still exists has corrupted video output, totally doesn't. Basically, I debugged around on this stuff for 3 years, like why does all this shit not completely, totally don't work? And then let's see, how does this old stuff really work? And like not only it did just work, it performed amazingly. That is what I mean with 2D acceleration, like when you use acceleration to tell the GPU with your 600 megabyte a second dual interleaved Rambus thing of 600 freaking megabyte bandwidth. That is what you get, ladies and gentlemen, little Padawans. This is what you get this is what's called hardware acceleration. When you move stuff and it's actually moving snappily, and like it's a little bit radar, like freaking starting, I got Firefox, I got some quest, I got like in 3 hours I could get the VESA driver started, which is it starting modern. So this is a browser. Why do you have this stuff open? This is a browser. And so look at what we multitask here like a power user. Where's even my, I thought, I have even multiple, can you believe I have multiple applications? Well, actually, I thought I had the T2 website open. And where did my T2 website disappear to? My point is, like this is usable. If you start modern stuff does not even, modern stuff you can watch redrawing. Like it is so laggy, it takes 5 minutes to start freaking Firefox. I mean, yes, the latest in Firefox. Yes, T2 is so amazing. You could start, I mean, if the drivers were not so broken, but hey, T2 allows you, our amazing Linux distribution, to start latest Firefox on this if you get Xorg to work, which is a bigger ordeal. Yes, it's a complete piece of slate, but this is a full web browser from 20 years ago when Apple forked KHTML. Like this is KHTML, the base of what Apple forked to WebKit and then Google forked to Chrome. And like this is what, like Apple, wow, this is so snappy and high performance, let's fork it. And like 20 years later, it's a small turtle, like a small molasses of barely moving accumulated bloat. I only wanted to document this, that people, like youngsters, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is what computing was before big mega corporations decided, fuck the user, delete all the shit, like delete what other people, that is what I mean with standing on the shoulders and thousands of people at x386, at all those drivers that are being deleted in the name of cleanups. You know, it's now so clean it doesn't even work anymore. I can show you in a second how it doesn't work anymore, even at all. And imagine how this translates to my OpenFrame 3950X or my build server 1700, like for your Zen, for your Intel Core i9 12,000, 13,000 whatnot, like this software, your software would fly, like orders, like if we would not have bloated software where everything is slower with each reason, every optimization deleted, like your software, if your Windows, your modern Linux feels slow on your 5 gigahertz turbo boosting embarrassingly multi-threaded Intel or AMD or Raspberry Pi or RISC-V stuff. It's like, yeah, because like all the optimization and were undone and deleted, and people can't write software anymore and bloat this stuff faster than normal people can fix it. Let me check also, like you basically could enjoy this. Also, it's a little bit chaotic today because like the thing is like now even I cleaned the office a month ago. Now it's already chaos again because each day I unpack this. I get a RISC-V system. I get a new keyboard, like, and then like one camera there, it's like keyboard overload and stuff. Excuse me. Let's take a look. Let's see. We probably have a gazillion of comments of this YouTube and Twitch live stream. If you're new to our stuff, we do T2 Linux and live stream on YouTube and Twitch. Let me just find my there even would be probably here. We have some people watching. That is amazing. Welcome everyone. And so I did not even plan to make this live stream, right? I planned to release my Linux distribution. Only this prototype arrived, and I thought like I quickly tested. I didn't like but the thing is also most drivers are so broken upstream that we fixed many of them, right? Like remember, like the recurring subscribers, you probably want to share, like, and subscribe, and Patreon for all this good stuff. The recurring subscribers probably know how often we have debugged stuff, right? Like many of things, including Matrox, ATI, so many others. Like apparently I mean, there are other fans of 8-Bit Guy and LGR and all the other amazing people, and Usagi Electronics with his vacuum tubes and stuff. The craziest thing is you would think like Red Hat, SUSE, IBM, any of the Xorg developers would have a stack of collection of hardware. Like how is it that this unsuccessful one-man distribution YouTube and company guy has the biggest trove of vintage and retro collection, is the last one person to test this because there were multiple people in the last 10 years to modify and delete the driver, and at the end it does not only work, like currently I can show you like the cleanups and stuff. It's like, yeah, cleanups and now it's broken, of like remove, delete and stuff. And like, of course, nobody of all those people have ever tested this because it's likely broken for 10 years, because currently, I can show you in a second, this driver that has acceleration deleted in the name of cleanups. Also, I said it before, like why did those ex-developers who moved on to revolutionize the world, the open source desktop with Wayland for 10 years, and it's still not fully working, and so certainly Wayland will never support acceleration on this old graphic cards that people could run vintage and retro games or still use as a thin client. Like, why did they had to delete, like, they being paid by graphic vendors to like, hey, let's cripple all the old drivers so people need to buy new GPUs because like it would upset the citizens if they would know that they could use their vintage and retro stuff for longer. So yeah, I also don't understand the celebration of like, hey, acceleration being deleted. It's like, yeah, making old hardware, like make it from somewhat usable to entirely broken. I don't know, how is this news of like, yay, let's celebrate the deletion of open source? What could possibly go wrong? Yeah, I'm just shocked how well that worked, and I'm also shocked how broken, like every driver I test, it's like, and that's the thing, right? Like people celebrating cleanups, like, yeah, but no, it doesn't also not only it's unisolated and slow piece of garbage, and it doesn't even work anymore. I can show you in a second how this is. Like, let's go through the comments. So that's basically the video. We could have fun and celebrate. We could celebrate with Linux, like 25, 30 years, actually 30 years of Linux and X3, and everything could be in perfect order, the most accelerated, the most optimized, but no, we deleted it. And that is what I don't understand, right? Cosmic Desktop especially, whatever. Let's just quickly check here some comments in between. Let's get better with the comments. So that's basically the report. That's basically, I mean, basically some podcast, like leave in the comments below, what do you want to see, what do you not want to see. Basically the promised behind the scenes. You donate more, this is also wrong, right? You donate more, you get behind the scenes stuff. So don't forget to Patreon, all this good stuff here, which I hope is online, because I'm totally like, basically I need more displays, like probably soon 4 displays here for like vintage, retro, a camera preview, chat things, and probably a camera and chat assistant. So welcome everyone. Awesome is that, yes, this is KDE3, and like I'm shocked, like this is basically why I left Linux for, like, because 15 years ago, all those big Red Hat and SUSE and Novell and all the big name people came out and destroyed everything and remember KDE4 and GNOME, and even everyone still discusses on other people's YouTube channel like Brody and stuff. Like, wow, like just the other day, like, wow, was KDE4 and GNOME broken? It's like, yeah, it was so broken and continually regressing that even I left for macOS for 10 years. That is what I mean with we could have everything, but we deleted it. Because Cosmic D especially feels like I'm running on a 10-year-old run. I'm running, like you're saying Cosmic Desktop is super slow. Is that what you're saying? Yeah, I'm in general, I said it the other day, I'm not particularly not impressed by Cosmic. Like that's the thing. Everyone, Wayland, everyone impressed, but it's 10 years failing, unsupported, half working, and still not feature complete stuff. And Cosmic, like we have 20 desktop environments. Every sucks more than KDE3, but everyone is impressed, right? Linus even raised concerns over x86 versions. They are calling, like I raised this concern earlier. I never liked this. So, and welcome everyone. Yeah, macOS, like a prominent open source developer, Linux distribution guy, escaped 10 years to macOS until it became to vendor locked in and stuff. So yeah, welcome everyone, all bros and girls and brothers and sisters. Here we go, guys, another live demonstration of our mental significance of all here to see it in sessions. It is responsive, incredible that computing like that was more enough to everything sparse. We need to have legacy kernel. So the kernel, I'm running this on the latest kernel. So that has nothing to do with the kernel, beside also Linus Torvalds also deleting stuff. This is running on the latest kernel because I booted. So it started with, as we are professionals, it all started with me testing the latest kernel. So actually I didn't even start. So this is, by the way, T2 from 20 years ago, when like we had desktop Linux, right? And we did for 20 years we keep breaking our things. You could think like open source is so deleted and so broken. You could think all the big name people like all the big name open source developers that so many people worship as the brightest of the industry. Like, are they freaking console? I don't have TTY mounted. Let's 1 second. So I have here. So this is a secure shell. I just background. Does this work if I there? Let's hope this doesn't kill this. So this is a change root. So this you probably see this, right? uname -a. Oops. So this is all freaking latest. We don't need another kernel. We just need to keep deleting and breaking everything. This is 6.12.1, like from yesterday, before the Linux kernel developers also released broken kernels. You need to host fix. So this is 6.12 on. I'm not here faking anything, right? Like this, and this is a little bit slowish and stuff. Like this is a HP T5000 transmitter efficient TM8000, 1.2 gigahertz, 979 megabyte of memory. And why? Because we test our own Linux distribution like nobody else. Like, because I mean, obviously everything else is broken. And so it all started off like yesterday. Let's netboot, like, because we. That's the thing, right? Like, how do we have the best infrastructure of testing and all the other Linux distribution? Probably they work from a home office in a coffee, like Red Hat employing macOS hipsters, and they sit without test hardware, zipping on a coffee in a coffee shop. But hey, they probably clean up amazing stuff. So let's network mount PTS so that we can start the terminal. Change root in here again. So here, this is just my dual input display thing. Let's try this again. Right, it surely probably will start then. So this is a very latest kernel. Like look, this is freaking. So the only thing I don't have neofetch here, because like this is, it's probably a little bit smallish for you to see. So this is exactly that. Like this is freaking completely usable. Like this is, I mean, I knew what I was talking. I did not, like, this is just living proof of my words. This is rubbing the state of the most exotic, lowest performance hardware support in other people's Wayland. I mean, this is even freaking redrawing quickly. I mean, yes, there is some redraw. This is not composited and stuff, but this is a 2 megabyte freaking graphic card. on a code morphing transmitter. Come on, you guys. Like, I'm kind of like this. I mean, this is also like, hey, keeping our website simple. Like, this is the latest T2 freaking website in Conqueror. Why do I keep my website simple? You never know when you take your SGIO2 or your transmitter Crucial. Like, when I also would click about KDE, about like, this is Z tiered KDE 352 apparently of I've not Z used like in ages of like the latest T2 website. Like you can multi-window tasking management stuff here. This is literally the T2 website from today, and I just changed the text yesterday. The low-code, ultra-portable. You can freaking read freaking documentation here of like a manual and stuff, like and things of like you can freaking use the freaking internet on this thing. Like this is live. That is a freaking. I mean, the only thing is I certainly cannot visit like Slashdot or stuff, or let alone slash. I've not even tried this because like I was so shocked I had to show you slash. Oh, come on. So slash.org probably will not work on HTTPS, right? Not an error occurred. Like yeah, probably don't use modern. Yeah, this is why like it would. I mean, probably blog. DE probably he has this oldest supporting shit maybe. Anyway, that other people also do bloated websites that don't. Is this also a thing like latest latest secure and then it doesn't load? Yeah, this is all we could have if we wouldn't break everything. Also, I remember like back in the day, this Conquer was also at times a little bit, or maybe I moved something today and now we have no internet. Also, KHTML. Yeah, I remember. Oh, undefined. Oh, there are some undefined crypto symbols. That's probably not ideal. Yeah, I remember. Like, yeah, maybe not the super most. Maybe not the most stable T2 release ever. What do we show here? Like, I'm getting a little bit lost in my multi. Like, yeah, if you cheap out on displays, then you don't see what you're live streaming. Here's the camera. There, like, and that is. We could have completely snappy stuff on like Ultra Spark, G5, like this would be snappy in Ultra 25 and stuff. Also 0 frames, that is amazing. And so I can show you how broken the current is. Like the latest, so this is the old thing, completely usable. And the latest Xorg does not even really come up, right? I mean, theoretically, we could try like a fundraiser of like 100,000 euro for fixing all the old stuff. The only thing is I also don't really want to touch, like now that they broke and deleted acceleration, it's a little pointless. Of course, rewriting a microkernel and amazing windowing system from scratch is also not the most scalable, especially if it's only for YouTube and Twitch demonstration only. So I need to think a little bit what I really want to do. Also, like how did I probably like this. Why is this so not usable? Where's the bloody scroll bar of like on this modern stuff? I don't even see the scroll bar. Because like this, it's a little bit annoying if I cannot see the whole text. Inscrutable computing, okay, we had there, we need to have legacy kernel, okay, we had this also too, legacy drivers, false, classic hardware. The driver are there, I mean, the Linux kernel has the least deletion, it's mostly they destroyed all of Xorg, and that is the thing, like, the Xorg people, like, they leave the house, they leave the house, and like, they shit in each corner and take a sledgehammer and like, vandalize the whole house before they move out. It's like, I'm really sorry, but F you all, like all the big name people who think they're most clever and have eaten all the wisdom with spoons and stuff, like I'm really sorry, but like after 25 years, I have to say I really hate you for like deleting, like for leaving open source in this broken state. It is an absolutely disgrace for all of open source and humankind. And I'm shockingly out of words. Any keyboard recommendation? Yes, this keyboard that I just got the other day, not a paid advertisement. But like this is literally the most yes, I lost it. This is the new 5 field whatnot 75 field 75 HE. It is amazing. Gateron, like my first Gateron or whatever Gateron. Hall effect. Like this is the smoothest stuff. Like this is better than drugs and maybe sex or whatnot. This keyboard is amazing. Just got it yesterday and I'm thrilled. Not just the take, the US government literally made everything the GPL license per USA, therefore job security is rules based. It's like to stop your Russian propaganda bullshit. The US government has nothing to do. This is also the Russian, why do people always stop consuming fake news and conspiracy theories? Also, I also wouldn't want to work with war criminals in my projects. Like, just fuck all the war criminals and war. Just fuck war. Let's make peace and stuff. Like, if the Russians cannot make peace, then just fuck off you. Also, probably this was swatted, but just say no to war and this is also why do you bring politics to my channel? Fuck politics and wars. And it's also, if Linus Torvalds doesn't want to work with war criminals, I would also throw war criminals out of my projects. Why do you all start with this? NATO has not invaded Russia. Russia has invaded Ukraine. I don't know what conspiracy theory shit you watch all day. But maybe just work on some code, learn computing, and it's you all. What do we even show right now? Don't ask me about war things when I'm already upset about the state of open source. No good comment will come out of this. Also, this has something. Everything uses GPL license. There's nothing to why do you? Are you a bot? Are you a Russian asset? Are you FSB agent? What? Your comment is full of uncontrolled, literally randomly rambling nonsense. Worse than I'm randomly rambling here. This has nothing to do with GPL license, and not everything is. If I do a GPL license thing out of Germany or North Korea, is nothing to do with GPL. Stop mixing all this stuff together. If you are operating out of USA, then you're subject to US rules. If you're operating out of Europe, then and if you're operating out of Russia, then you're probably in a prison slave camp, and it's a front line. So, what is wrong with all of you? And that's the thing. People cannot even understand the World War III invasion of another country anymore. My goodness, what coincidence, just testing this FB on a ThinkPad with FBAC works nicely. So yeah, maybe that the FBDev driver doesn't start on this because this has a built-in Radeon, maybe it somehow doesn't want to match on this. FBDev otherwise could theoretically work, but in 1 hour I couldn't get FBDev to just use this bloody thing. But also it's fully uninsulated. There is an SIS driver. That's the thing. It would work even better with a isolated driver, right? Why would you not want an isolated driver? Considering moving development to BSD, no. BSD is even lesser. I'm considering rewriting everything from scratch in a better language than C and Rust combined, and a microkernel. There is research, and then all the people microkernel better, in the 80s, microkernel better, we know better, and C not good and stuff in the 80s already, and also at least a little bit improved C++, we stick to the old shit. It's yeah, we clone Unix and write software in the 70s. In the state of X video Silicon Motion. Yeah, so, and also even if the Silicon Motion thing, which I think I probably used and tested, I have a Silicon Motion. I have Silicon, wait, SIS is not Silicon Motion, right? One is SIS and the other Silicon Motion, SM. I have both, of course. In T2 I patched many to work, but even those I patched to work don't have acceleration anymore because it was deleted, right? And celebrated widely on the media. What do I even show here? Just need to check here on my comment overload and welcome everyone. Do you also fix broken humans? I wish I could. I'm not a doctor. Apparently the most broken humans die in Russia's war in invading Ukraine. What keyword is that? Looks great. Yeah, I said this already. NuFi, Field 75, Hall effect switches, amazing stuff. The smoothest switches I've ever, you literally get an orgasm typing on this keyboard. Grade 2 isn't the monitor tooth, isn't that monitor tooth? I'm cheap, you're all not, I only have 222 euro donations a month. You need to share, and subscribe. I literally use my company profits, I burn my company profits keeping the open source alive while everyone else deletes and causes regressions around me. exactly responsible for not having? Who exactly, like the developer touching, like who exactly the developers, maybe in corporate interests or just ill-educated, ill-fated, deleting, regression and deleting code. All the nice code previously, like all the hardware isolation. Because like without hardware isolation, even modern hardware, like try to run a modern desktop on a frame buffer and you will see how slow, even on the latest Ryzen and Intel stuff, how slow stuff is. So we have more comments. Oh my god. Comment overload. Linux is not example of anyone anymore. It demands something. CEO of large companies have done that. Slow clip processor Linux was getting. So I wanted to show him as the problem if I read all the comments that at times only upset me if they have strange discussions about wars and stuff. So to show you more, I show you now, and so this will shock you further. Where's even my my camera view? So external camera here. I should theoretically probably so there somewhat. So that is the running stuff. So here is just keyboard, video, mouse, switching that here to the external. So that is external graphic here, right? You know, when when stuff did work completely nicely, right? Like you could like fully operate this. And this is the slowest. That is the thin client stuff. That is not even high performance Pentium 4 or Athlon whatnot stuff. Like this is 8 watt stuff in a thin client. So. That works amazing. So that is the state. That is basically, ladies and gentlemen, that is the state of the Linux desktop 20 years ago, where basically you could do everything and everything was snappy and amazing, right? And since then, what progress have we made? Like basically, we have made nearly no progress. And basically, we walked backwards. We reversed. Like we made everything literally worse, slower, less accelerated. And current freaking session. Like how amazing was that? Like this was entirely usable. So that is that right here. This is also like the audio is also broken for forever, right? Like this is somehow broken for like probably 10 years already. I probably should probably. Check this again. So so a little bit latency for everything coming through Ethernet cable, right, from the server in the corner. And then when we want to start, so that was that one here, right? It probably should be this. So that is the old stuff. So that was a change root. Like I change rooted. All I did was extract this because I wanted to see like, did this shit even ever work? And yes, it worked. Like it worked. I can't believe how well it works. And so. No, so this is the latest T2, right? Like this is the NFS main root. Like this is on the thin client, right? This is here on this HP efficient. I'm not faking any shit. So I only start X from the secure shell so that I have better control and stuff. Because like this is the state. This here is. May I present to you the state of Xorg drivers, like AKA fucking completely broken, and like. I patched it already because originally it just segmentation faulted. Like this is already after I fixed some things because it's still fully working. Like this was like, how much shit do I really fix for this driver? Because like upstream, like if you just take another Linux distribution and upstream sources, if you build the latest release, it will just segmentation fault. I can show you that because of course I posted that probably. First of all, I could also just start the non-modified driver. I'm just totally getting lost here in stuff. I think, did I post it in our Discord maybe? And let's see, did I post here in GPU graphics? Ah yeah, here. So VGA, Cirrus, like, so this is a segmentation fault. Like if you don't believe me, buy such a card or many of the others. I fixed many. So I fixed so much stuff that I even fixed generic things in Xorg. Yes, I didn't upstream it because why should I upstream it? They just break random shit upstream anyway, right? So this is how like Cirrus driver, right? Like MI pointer, like the driver wants the mouse pointer before, like this is a null pointer difference. So this is, which address was it even? Yeah, 60. So that's a null pointer offset by 60 for like the structures in the driver. So 60 hex. So like that is what yesterday it's like I start the stuff like cool, it doesn't even start anymore. I fixed it a little bit. Now it looks like this. Although it probably doesn't even control. I mean it's, yeah, like it's. I mean the funny thing is, so it doesn't even control the mouse cursor. Like it's so broken, it doesn't even do it doesn't even do hardware cursor, because like so I only see now, like I don't even know, like probably it's probably maybe the libpci conversion. So this is with a null pointer dereference fixed, so it still doesn't work, right? It's a little bit jumping a little bit, like probably all the stuff is like probably completely offset by something, like maybe the PCI stuff not correctly. Like I mean, obviously it's completely broken, and that is what 20 years of Red Hat, Novell, SUSE, and all the other big name open source developers, which yes, it is amazing that they do some AMD and NVIDIA stuff, but at the end of the day, like they broke everything else. And instead of leaving all the stuff there and maybe fixing a bug or two, like the difference in this cleanups is 20 years later, everything is broken. Everything except latest and greatest is unusable. And that's what frustrates me. Like this is also like for 20 years you help building up this stuff, and at the end of the day, like you fight windmills of other people of like just delete, refactor and break it, like refactor and don't test it because refactor we don't have the hardware. Refactor, fingers crossed, probably something might still work. Of course it doesn't. Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous. But celebrated on news sites of like, hey, we deleted hardware acceleration, all the hard work put into there, all our hard work protected by the sword. Apparently not. Just delete all the stuff, like everything. Like I don't even like. Just don't use it. Like security. Just like yes, and I mean, first of all, you don't need to do online banking on old hardware, and even if there's a security issue, like maybe fix it. It's yeah. So basically, we are T2 Linux, and increasingly, it's like I have no words anymore. Like also, sorry, I need to watch a little bit my. Like, let's check comments. Also, like, how many drop frames do we have of? Hey, 0 drop frames. Yeah, it is said. Like, I'm only the messenger. I tried everything. I put here for years, 40 hours. Like, previous video. I'm not joking. As you see here, for 25 years, I put. What did I compute? 50,000 or whatnot hours. I put so much time into this, and people next to me just delete. The only substitute for deletion is more deletion. The only substitute for refactoring is more refactoring, and at the end of the day, nothing freaking works anymore. So how many hours did I mentioned this only in this video here, right? Spent 25 years, my 25 years my dream OS, and now everything is broken because Red Hat, SUSE, and IBM and whatnot want it broken. It is hilarious. It is said. Basically, we could like this is basically kind of a podcast of like this the broken state of open source. Like, and again, for 20 years, I went to trade shows. I went to CeBIT, the German Linux magazine, offered us a booth for free, which is amazing. So I have been 3 times or more often, I don't know, at the CeBIT with an open. So like I put my time. I helped develop all this stuff. I put my extra time into unpaid but for free exhibit in the open source pavilion in the CeBIT, the world's largest IT trade show. Went to Linux Talk and stuff. Like we did for 20 years, roll the drum roll, like open source, it's amazing. We make everything work and stuff. And at the end of the 20 years later, nothing works, everything is broken, everything is slower than ever. And it's like, yeah, and drivers are so clean, they don't even mode set anymore. So let's see what's going on here. Let's oh wow, we have 93 viewers here and there. Yeah, that's the thing, right? I do serious work. Nobody watches. I roast. This is not a run. This is a roast. I'm really sorry, those developers. And this is not. I'm not addressing. I hope I didn't say any name. This is why I don't want to personally. I don't want to personally point out like it was this. Like, and it is all of them. It's a collective. I mean, not all. There are some people who sometimes try to make some stuff working, which I appreciate. But this is not like flaming this one person. This is roasting the state of, and all of them need to think like, I don't mention any name because this is not here some doxing or whatnot. And I appreciate all the open source work and contributions. But the sad reality, people, first of all, the people who did this, they know very well, like you and you, I know who you are, and you know what you did to Xorg, to the state of the Linux desktop. And I don't need to, for example, Alan Coppersmith, I highly appreciate, like, at least he puts so much work, like I myself, like, probably even more. And so it's like, if you see any names, this is not doxing, like many of those contributors, like especially Alan Coopersmith, totally amazing people who regularly try to keep stuff building and making stuff work. So any name, like, because previously, how dare my name was on your live streams, like, I'm sorry, then it's like, then don't do open source or use ABC foobar name. Many people at least tried to make something work with all the leadership of deletion, the big crusade of making open source shitty again by deleting. And what's the point? Like, what is the point of first we've had some open source mission of making everything work, and then the crusade on open source, like deleting, like making open source shit again by deleting and refactoring and rebuilding, and at the end nothing works anymore. And now, as you have seen, KDE 3 was completely fine usable on this, the most cursed, most exotic, lowest performance deaccelerator, and it was completely fine. And that is a problem, right? I don't know, stream maybe can answer. Where are we? So what else do we have here? We have people, we have comments, we have too many comments. What do you even show? As usual, I lose overview what I even show here. I probably show something more spiritually uplifting. You can support all the stuff by sharing, like, and subscribing, and ideally Patreoning. By somehow I put here too much of my precious time keeping all this stuff when very few people appreciate this and delete it faster than I can even. Well, we have 177 concurrent viewers. So that's crazy. So with Twitch together, we have nearly 300 concurrent viewers, which is amazing. So let's. So many comments. Like, basically, I would need an assistant to summarize me the comments. And yeah, I would. The thing is, like, we could revert all the deletions, right? Like, but is it even, like, I also don't appreciate working with this old cursed low quality C code, right? But deleting that is also not a solution, right? Like, so I'm between for 15 years, like, basically I regret not writing my microkernel. I regret being part of this and now sitting here with the shambles. Like, other people shitted into the corner, sent an elephant through the porcelain store, like everything, like, basically other people nuked all the infrastructure, and I sit here in the thermal nuclear wasteland of abundant stuff, and I'm basically disappointed of actually trying to help in this open source ecosystem, and in the end everything's just freaking broken and deleted. And the one thing, like, I always forget his name, from the sailing YouTuber Paleo Revival, Colin, right? Colin from Paleo Revival YouTube channel, Sailing the World there. So he said he starts his sailing stuff always in 20 years or so, you will be more disappointed by the things you didn't do than the things you did. And, like, I'm the same, right? I'm so disappointed I did not do my microkernel. Like, I trusted Linus Torvalds of, like, performance. Trust us, we got this. We get more features, more performance with our singular microkernel and stuff. In retrospect, yes, I'm now 20 years disappointed. Like, damn, had I done my microkernel, we would have everything working instead of this Linux and free desktop ecosystem where everything is broken now. Like, everything except high-end. And then latest and greatest high-end I can also not use, except now the 1350X with AMD GPU, because, like, a Steam Deck, like, you use the high-end stuff, it's so broken, it takes 2 years to be mostly upstream, and then it's not stable. Now I need to live stream from a 1350X with a dedicated Ryzen D GPU, because, like, the Steam Deck with everything muxed over one USB cable, like, yeah, use the latest stuff, it's not stable, and the old stuff is deleted, and the old stuff was at least stable, right? Like, the new Steam Deck stuff crashes every 24 hours. Like, you know what? The old shit I could run a year, and I had an uptime of a year. The new AMD stuff, like, yeah, uptime 1 day. Thank you very much. Like, yeah, there's also, like, I mean, obviously complexity, right? Like, if everything is extreme over complex and maxing everything over one USB keyboard, what could possibly go wrong? 512 megabytes should be enough, ought be enough for everyone. Yeah, I mean, hey, the system has a gigabyte, and yes, ideally I would also love, maybe one day I solder more VRAM on this, because the only problem is now getting this exotic RAM, Rambus RD RAM is a little bit difficult. Here, of course, I would also like to have more memory on this precious VGA card here. I mean, the thin client I've already maxed out with. I think the BIOS maxes out at 1 gigabyte. Of course, it didn't came with 1 gigabyte. And like there is PCB space for more. Like either, at least as you see, they're unpopulated. The only problem is getting this rare Rambus memory RD RAM. By the way, fun fact: I really need to, like, if you have also this is wrong here. If you have an abandoned bunker or otherwise location somewhere, I would, maybe in a big city, because maybe I should actually open a computer museum, a living computer museum. Enough things I have soon. The card is cool. I never had this. Like I just auctioned. I had this because for 10 year, you know, I have 10 year long running eBay searches, and eventually I already thought I will never get this. There is a slightly faster AGP, a slightly faster and slightly more bug-fixed AGP version, the 5465. But I prefer the slightly, yes, lower performance, but like more compatible PCI versions, because I can plug it into more things. So that's the card, and super cool. I didn't even expect this, right? Like you auction a cheap abandoned e-waste thing, and somehow this is some kind of prototype engineering sample thing. Totally, like I did not even know that when I auctioned this cheap, right? It's like how eBayers undersell their stuff, like nobody wants this old deleted stuff, and then this board is furnished, like what wording is that, like furnished, solely for to permit you test and evaluate of test and evaluation of the Cirrus Logic components. Like, hey, we are 25 years later, we are testing and evaluating the Cirrus Logic components. It's not for release or commercial use. I have no idea how I got this card, but this is topping, like, people like just e-waste, like, why do you use this old shit? Like, hey, I even got some special snowflake furnished for evaluation and testing, and this board has not been tested for compliance with FCC regulations concerning emissions and radiations, of compliance with any other, or compliance with any other. Like, never had such, I mean, I had some prototype stuff, but like printing that on a PCB like this is certainly another level. Did I post last? I had Firefox open, so like the only thing I could work, so this was last night on exactly this hardware. Here you have this in HD and focused and stuff, and more proper lighting. So that's the hardware, that's the real thing. And so this was after 3 hours of like, why am I sometimes up at midnight, or why people wonder like, why am I still awake at 1 o'clock? Because like I sit in the office and wonder, how does nothing work? The driver doesn't mode set, like the driver segmentation faults. If I fix the segmentation fault, it doesn't mode set, it's like completely cropped and whatnot. Like, who knows what's going on? Like, no, I can bisect this driver, obviously. We basically could continue just straight after this live stream. And like, yes, this is the latest Firefox. Literally yesterday's build, like, yes, T2, the only distribution that makes it possible, but it took me 3 hours, mostly because no driver worked. The Cirrus driver, segmentation faulting, not mode setting, like even then I couldn't get the frame buffer driver, so I also rebooted 5 times. Like, why did it take 3 hours? Because like I was trying, like I was for 1 hour convincing the bloody FBDF driver with like this bus ID and what, like why the freaking, like googling like what the freaking heck is FBDF driver should work, like if you boot with VGA ask and some VESA mode setting mode in Linux kernel. But that's the thing, it took me 3 hours to get video out of this shit with the latest tooling. Everything is so broken, it took me 3 hours to get like a proper Xorg video signal out of this thing, because I could not get the FBDF driver. Like it might be because the built-in ATI Radeon is disabled when you plug in another card. So maybe due to that, it wants a bus ID. But like I could also, like with Googling and reading the manual and reading the source, I could not get this bus ID matching to work. Like it's just like driver FBDef and then option bus ID. I tried for 20 minutes. Like it took me 1 hour. I Googled, I read sources like, why did it take just this? Like, this is 1 hour this, 1 hour that, 1 hour that. At the end of the day, it's after midnight, and you have nothing to show because like everything is broken. And this is how much can be broken. Like just on top of all the deletions, frame buffer driver doesn't work, and then the VESA driver. Like who program? I mean, of course you shouldn't use a VESA driver of in user space mode setting and stuff, but I couldn't even use it because I booted with VGA, and then I also had to reboot again, right? Because I booted with VGA ASK and had some VESA mode setting. I had basically the Linux VESA frame buffer, so that I have any frame buffer, and then that didn't work. And then the VESA driver, the Xorg VESA driver, refused to start. Like, what the bloody heck is that? It's like, you can't use a bloody VESA driver. As last resort, you wasted 2 hours. Like, okay, let's use the VESA driver of Xorg. Let's see if that still works. And that doesn't work because it says there is some driver on this card already, like the in-kernel VESA frame buffer, and then you can't use the VESA frame, the user space VESA frame buffer because you have an in-kernel VESA frame buffer. It's everything and every combination, nothing freaking works. The only thing that did work then was booting again with a text mode, and then using the only thing I could get working for this Firefox test. Like, yes, that is the freaking latest Firefox, and it's like, yeah. But this loads, like, it starts like 3 minutes or like, this is how bloated the software. This old KD3 Conqueror just starts and it's usable basically. And this modern, the latest optimization, 20 years of optimization, so bloated, it probably starts 3 minutes and it probably takes nearly a minute to render the bloody, like, loading and rendering that here or whatnot. I mean, don't forget scrolling and any other UI interruption like GTK whatnot 3 or whatnot. Unaccelerated, like software rendering. Totally not snappy. Yeah, so it's basically a presentation of the state of affairs. I'm just sad. I'm just sad about this. And yes, AI Frank is here. Welcome you all. Basically, yeah. Summary. Let's see. Comments. Are you friends with the Primogen? Not yet, but he rated us recently. I mean, I rated him 20 times. I don't know him more than from Twitch. I wish one day we become friends. I would love to be. I would love to have more friends than the Primogen. What do we have here? So more YouTube. Wait, YouTube link subscription is not live now. Yeah, I have two. I have the more mainstream and the more live. We are a big media growing business. So much breakage. We need a Twitch and 2 YouTube channels to broadcast all the breakage. And again, I wish everything, 20 years ago, I went to trade shows and said everything is amazing. Like, I don't want to roastingly, rantingly present the state. I didn't break all the stuff, right? I'm the one, like all those others, who keep the stuff broken and fight the, like, basically fighting plant obsolescence and regressions. You probably love BOS. Yes, I even purchased it, some personal edition for 99 Deutschmark, 20 years. The only thing, I have so much hoarded vintage and retro goodness. The only thing I somehow lost is the box of BOS personal edition. But anyway, wouldn't be the most useful today. So what else? YouTube link. How can you switch Lexus? What you're doing? I don't understand. You need to be more precise. What do you mean switch like what? I have here multi levels of switching. I have here. So I have here dual display, right? Like, let's swap here. Like, I'm probably have, like, people telling me on YouTube, I need an IDE. I don't need I just need freaking working software. I probably have the most, and by the way, this display, I have a second one. Do you see this display? This is my display. I purchased this. This is the Apple Cinebliss display. And this is my bunker, right? Like, don't spot us again. Like, this is my overflow bunker. But this is my display. This display I found on the street. I'm not making this stuff. 3 weeks ago, I was walking on. Someone put this bloody display on the street. I mean, it has a scratch here. You probably don't see this. Here's a heavy, and it was completely filthy. It was completely smoked and stuff. Like, I was like, Apple display on the street in the center of Berlin. Now, obviously, I took it home. I mean, there was also VCR and some DVD player. I didn't take the VCR and CD DVD player. I only took and it didn't have the power supply. So I now have a free from the street. Like, I'm so cheap. Like, hey, open source developer 2024, so cheap, they take scratched, filthy displays from the street of Berlin, and it worked, yeah. So now I use that here for all the things. So now I have two cinemas. I only need a second power. If you have a spare power supply, I need for 1919. Anyway, also display small, yeah, it's fine. It's the only thing I would need more. I mean, I have more displays, but like I literally don't really have the most space for more displays. Theoretically, I would need comment display and live. So this is my old main display. I have another C-level executive office with 5K display and stuff. So this is my YouTube and test. Like this is just my abundant cheap open source developer, abundant old stuff Twitch and YouTube thing. That's my old main display, and you see display also probably. And that's the thing. I work like my efficiency does not increase. Like my efficiency on macOS, obviously, or other things, or other modern, only decreases, right? Like this is peak efficiency. Like this old crap is peak efficiency, except stuff broken. I have here, this has like remember the times before like some modern stuff, like when displays, like this display has like 4 display inputs or whatnot. This is why I have this basically KVM keyboard video mouse switch. So this is a broken Cirrus logic graphic here. So I have here multiple levels of switching between KVM, this thing, and here my scenes. This is Hyperland, right? Like this is Horizon's 1350X. Of course, we run T2 Linux, right? Necessities for apparently the last working and successful open source living. Everyone else just deletes and hates, and we love our vintage and retro. And by the way, this is also like, and that is the thing, right? I don't understand this. Why people just want to, like, why would you want to delete all this working stuff? I don't get this. Like, except if you're a company and want to, like, also like theoretically in open source, we could make all the software the most efficient, but now somehow corporate greed took over open source. And like now, I mean, how is KDE? I mean, sure, if you do certain graphic things like alpha blending and so on, and like anti-aliased vector graphics and stuff, that's of course, ironically, not the most hardware isolated and slow and hold. It's like software rendered, software computed slow and hold hardware. But you could still have like themes of having flat is anyway. Remember this latest and greatest Apple shit, where like flat everything. Like, hey, the latest Apple graphic of everything flat actually would be ideally suited to accelerate like with XAA, right? You know, solid fills, bit BLT. Like this is everything that would have been basically ideal for this good hardware. But hey, we like 10 years ago, we need alpha blending, we need transparency, we need pixmap bling bling, right? And like 10 years later, Apple is like, nah, solid flat for everyone. Like, oh shit, we just deleted all the solid fill and all the accelerations that like basically, so like also like coming, like if you were an amazing next step company, like maybe we should rebrand as next step, like stealing Apple's Steve Jobs' old name, or like Big Leap or any other trolling big peer leap company naming of like actually making shit great again. If an amazing company like Next Step or Apple wanted, this, especially with this flat theming, right? This flat themed thing would be ideal to still support and accelerate on whole hardware, right? But of course, Apple being Apple and delete, and it's like open source people no follow, which is absolutely mind-blowingly ridiculous. FreeBSD also removes the AGP support. Yeah, it is ridiculous, right? Like also Linux also started to remove some AGP. I also don't understand this. Like, don't touch this stuff. Like, what is the problem? It doesn't eat bread. Like, there is some German saying, es ist kein Brot. Like your vintage and rate low. It doesn't eat some bread there. Just leave it there in some corner. Like, just leave it in peace. Like, sometimes if you also like pro tip, don't constantly refactor and change APIs. Just let it be. And if you need to change some APIs, then tree-wide SED. So like it's such a maintenance burden. Like, you know, the stuff was barely touched, and the only maintenance burden is because you constantly refactor and change APIs. And even if you migrate to Wayland, you still thermal nuclear nuke the old stuff here, right? Like, what is the point of breaking all the old stuff when like shitting in the house when you move out and then throwing a bomb into it? It's like, I don't get this. It's like, this is absolutely a disrespectful behavior. Manual. Yeah, basically this roasting here, one of the most successful live streams. That is amazing. I did not make it for that. I completely I completely innocently just auctioned myself collectible vintage gear, and I did not expect, like, even I fixed so much. I thought, like, this surely will work, right? Especially the Cirrus logic driver is emulated in QA mode, but just so slightly older 2D version. I didn't get the memo that the new 3D version is vastly different. Like, I innocently just auctioned myself some collectible things. Like, you would think and that is the difference between attention to detail and dedication. You would think the Xorg and Free Desktop Foundation, that they make every effort possible to deliver, to create the most, like, with hundreds of thousands of funding. Like, you remember some years ago, they spent even $60,000 a year on continuous integration cloud server stuff, right? They spent $60,000 a year on continuous integration cloud servers, but they cannot collect some vintage and retro, like, and test it sometimes and keeping working, right? And that is a disconnect. This is a mind-blowing disconnect of, like, they should have the mission and the means. They should have a test hardware set. And in a previous video I said, if every developer of all the big, like, remember, like, every of these big name developers that ever touched Xorg stuff, and I'm not accusing, like, I'm just, like, this is just an illustration purpose, like, not, they're all the most amazing people, but the people who broke all the shit know who this was. Like, many of them are, of course, amazing, and shout out to all the amazing people. But, like, if I said this before, imagine if every developer would just have one, not like 100 VGA PCI cards, which I probably don't have 100, maybe I have 42 or so. Imagine if all those big names, like Linus Torvalds won, Alan Cox won, Egbert Eich won, Eric Arnold won. Like, imagine everyone just won. Like, you know, Linus Torvalds worked at Transmator. Like, if I would have worked on Transmator, I would have my precious Transmator CPU. And, like, I'm only asking one, right? I just need to check what I actually show here. Maybe I should actually create an overview of external camera with, like, let's duplicate this here live, and let's copy this. Let's copy this. Also amazing. Also, we need to update. There's my camera, video capture camera. Let's copy that here and paste this here. That surely probably works, right? Let's see if we can crash this live on paste reference. Hey, look at that, future is totally now. And all I say is, that's probably even more entertaining stuff to attract more people, right? In my open source powerhouse. So no, I missed my view. I'm lost. Wait. All right. Actually, I guess this is what I need. What do I even show now? I need more displays. I obviously need more displays. If everyone, like Linus Torvalds, like, if I would have worked at Transmator, I mean, hey, I have not worked at Transmator, and I have the two major things. I probably also have most other CPUs, like Cyrix and AMD 5x86. Like, how is my tiniest little unsuccessful hobby? Like, I have no funding. I founded from a poor family. I founded everything my freaking self, and I have here the most successful productive stack, including test hardware. Like, how is that? Except the titanium I recently allegedly stolen from someone. But aside from this, everything else I collected and purchased myself with any outside funding, without the Linux Foundation, without the Xorg Foundation, without the Xorg, without SUSE, without Red Hat, without IBM. And, like, if all I ask is one. Imagine if Egbert Eich would have some ATI, or if you worked at ATI or Matrox, like, if you, I mean, maybe the people hated working at Matrox, or they hated working at Transmator, but if I would have worked there, or, like, if I would have written a driver, like, let's say for a Voodoo, and you grow up, 3DFX Voodoo was the most amazing thing, and you worked on it, you wrote the driver, like, would you not, like, what is the big problem to keep it? Like, I'm not asking to have a hoarding business of abundant bunkerware, right? But, like, what is the problem? You have a super clean desk, like, cleaner than this, because things, like Swiss Army, Swiss knife for unboxing things, right? And the coffee, and the Steam Deck dock, which I don't use anymore because it's too buggy. But aside from this, imagine you have a super, like, you have an eye-adjusting clean desk, and then a tiny little bit box of a 3DFX Voodoo there, with a transmitter thin client. And you can literally plug a Voodoo into the transmitter thin client. And I'm not even saying daily drive it. Like once a quarter, is it not a nice hobby? Once a quarter turn on, like, or 2 times a year, or maybe for Christmas, like once a year, like literally if all of the 10,000 open source developers from Linus Torvalds over Alan Cox to everyone in between, and all the extra people, if all of them would have just one and would test it once a year and fix what broken things they find, and we would not delete all the acceleration and driver stuff, we would have an absolute wonderland. There would be rainbows, there would be unicorns, it would be amazing. We could celebrate, like we would have everything and then some. We would have more optimized drivers than 3DFX Voodoo ever had on Windows. But no, we delete all the stuff. And that is what I don't, we delete in the name of cleanups. And now it's so clean, nothing works anymore. And this is the smallest, right? This is the smallest driver stuff. Where do I even have, like, I'm lost. This is the smallest. These are the smallest drivers. Like we import millions of lines of code of unstable AMD stuff or half working NVIDIA stuff. But this, like similar to the next to be deleted PowerPC things, right? And I only know because reading OS news. Next they want to delete some PowerPC support. Like, what do we even have? I hope we have 0-drop frames here all. 0-drop frames. Like, why is internet loading so slowly? Also maybe it's OS news. Did I do this wrong? Maybe with and without an S or too many whatnot. Next they want to delete PowerPC, right? And Apple to lose support for early Apple and IBM. It's like failed. It's like, yeah, I mean, failed not really. This was relatively successful, and they want to delete this. I said this before. Like the smallest, like hey, some like every modern Intel, like every single file of modern Intel and AMD stuff, like is literally larger than all of what they want to delete here, right? Including like nobody runs this except we weekly test this. We nearly daily drive this, but like it's getting nearly 20 years old. Nobody can delete this. Like why? 400 megahertz IBM B50 and 43p and stuff. Like 400 megahertz, you can freaking 3D game on this stuff with Matrox Millennium and G200. But it needs to be deleted because like apparently it's 20-year-old and now like we have, that's the thing, open source. We make everything work and when it's freaking working, we delete it. It's like, it's mind-blowingly dumb. It's, at least, it's like there. No, I lost overview what to even show you. It's mind-blowingly dumb. I don't get this. So we have many comments. I should pay attention to more comments as you see, like if I tell some story and stuff. And thanks for the subscription and share, like, and subscribes. It is amazing. We basically could continue to get this Cirrus logic thing to work. It can't be that, I mean, maybe we bisect this with the old driver stuff. The problem is they changed the API so much, so it's probably some X3 stuff running here, right? What do you even show here? I will probably show that. So the old stuff here, which I of course have in old, so it's a completely fine working like T2 release from when even T2 2.2 from 2006, so not even 20 years old. And what do we? I don't even. So and of course not the Linux distribution. I mean, also you don't see what I type here, right? For .fl. It var and all the T2 users, like you will feel so familiar. No, this is already so new that it's already after. Remember when X386 was forked in Xorg server, because back in the day the people already didn't got along because like people so toxic they need to fork the X3 server like twice and then nuke it and like then thermonuclear blast it and call it Wayland. And yeah, it's already Xorg server, it's already a modular Xorg server version. Because the problem is they changed so many APIs, like this, so this version did work, which even is that even? You didn't type for some minutes. I'm not. 012. Yeah. What do you even show? So like, yeah, we kind of sort of, I guess like, but that's the thing, like if you refactor, like all the cleanups, of course they constantly break all the stuff. Like in the meantime, nearly everything is broken and installation deleted. So let's take a more systematic look at the comments. As usual, if you have any, like, even if you watch this later, archived on YouTube, years later, just let us know what you think. This is basically just a documentation how great it really was. Keyboard I said already. It has this new 5 field 75 HE. You bought that keyboard, yes, congrats. Keyboard is amazing. It's the smoothest keys I've ever, like, better than 6, and basically don't need a girlfriend anymore if you have such a keyboard. Okay, we had that energy cost of the display is higher than the display cost now. Yeah, but energy cost is relative. Is this an old? Yes, this is T2 from 2004, yes, or 2006. Don't see any reason to get angry about this stuff. Time moving on, projects change. But like, why is it time to move on? Like, this is perfectly like other people enjoy even the Commodore C64. I'm not even asking Commodore C64, Amiga 500. Like, and again, normal people, this might be normal people's only second computer, right? If they want to try out Linux, they might have a 5-year-old PC that they use Windows on. They might have an iPad, and they might not have wished to buy another computer. Like, they might get something like this, or it's a little bit faster. Like, normal people, like, they get some 10-year-old shit out of the basement or their parents' attic. This is the thing, like this argument of like move on, like priorities, like what priorities have changed to destroy all the open source. Like this is just ridiculous. That's not an argument of if other, what is the problem of leaving the old driver and support there? And if people move on to Wayland, like why destroy Xorg when you move to Wayland for 10 years anyway? Personally, I give a shit what you think, because like probably you have not, like, you know what, Wayland, I personally think Wayland and Rust are even more of a mess, and it doesn't mean that people, like, even if it was like, yes, the code quality wasn't the most amazing, but it doesn't mean that you need to delete everything, right? Like if it wasn't a mess, then and you do Wayland, then just leave all the stuff in there. Because like X11 does not, like, what is like this is like, you know, these people, no technical, like, what is wrong with you? You have completely no technical elements, just some personal feeling of reading phonics. It's like X11 does not suck. X11 was the most successful graphics subsystem and have even network. Like, you have no idea on what shoulders of innovations we stand in cloud computing and thin clients. Like, X11 was amazing for its times. And by the way, there's nothing a mess. Even composition and other alpha blending acceleration was added there, X-render. Like, we could have modernized it to X12 or whatnot. There were certainly quite some extensions added, and the code quality, nowadays it could have been written in better code quality, but like some personal feeling, you know what? I have the personal feeling this deletion is quite low IQ loser behavior of, like, if we speak in this, like, you know what? Like, this is shitty behavior of, like, not to name some, like this is shitty behavior, deleting other people's fine working hardware and stuff of, because like these people contribute nothing, they only delete and ruin other people's code. Like, this is ridiculous. I don't know what having a professional Linux admin, like, you could do, X11 is so amazing that with low performance things like 40 megahertz Spark stations, you could run whole universities and had network graphics. I mean, you know what is a mess? X11 is actually pretty fine, especially for the 80s. the x386 implementation, the code wasn't the super most amazing, but have you seen the Linux kernel? Have you seen Wayland? Like, have you seen Rust and Cargo? Like, from this, have you seen what a mess Rust and Cargo is? Have you seen what a mess Firefox or, God forbid, freaking Chromium is? Like this is also like, then you need to have technical reasons. I have technical reasons, but you didn't say technical reasons. I agree that the X11 code wasn't the most amazing, at least the open source implementation, but this can be fixed by converting this to more readable types, not like card 8 and card 16 and more, but that's also not what the Wayland people do. And you know, this is, you don't do science and on personal opinion. My personal opinion, like, hey, my personal opinion is Wayland is pretty shittier. Like, I would say Wayland must be shittier because it can't even support this old hardware. Like, then Wayland is not even a discussion because it's so low quality engineering that it doesn't even have a chance to support old hardware. If we speak about personal, like my personal impression of, like, if it can't even do basic things, like, then it must be truly shitty. And plus, have you seen Rust and Cargo? Like, if you like, do you like then the toxic wasteland that is Rust and Cargo, or because, like, if you don't like the x386 code base, like, have you seen Rust and Cargo? Because, oh my god, or have you seen Chrome? If you don't like that code, like, I hope you don't run Chromium. So yeah, don't be so rude on each other. And that's the thing, like, people that are just Linux sysadmins come here and discuss, like, no, X11 is if you don't code and stuff. But I just present you this, like, also, how acceptable is it that Linux doesn't show any graphic at all on slightly older hardware because everything is broken and deleted? So we have still quite some comment backlog here. People love so the problem is people upset me so much with the, like, no, it's fine, it's being like, this is, I'm so comments there, Mozilla is dead. Yeah, Mozilla is strange, but Chrome is also, I mean, the irony is that Firefox is still the better code base than Chrome, which is absolutely crazy. Like, have you tried even compile Chrome? Like, if you can't get Chrome easily compiled, then maybe there's something wrong with the code base, right? So yeah, so many comments, which I'm not sure how I should deal with this comment overload, except, like, maybe only commenting super thanked comments or stuff like big name YouTubers like Linus Tech Tips would do. Well, you have so Trackersoft writes, well, you have a mouse cursor at least. No, the mouse cursor, if you just start X, I don't have a mouse cursor. I only had the mouse cursor because I did run the old X3, so the mouse cursor was only visible because it was a leftover of the old. So no, the newly completely broken driver doesn't even have a mouse cursor. So probably also register stuff is mapped completely off by something like maybe PCI conversion. Maybe I later try to bisect this. It's ridiculous. Comment there, it's opinion, it's time to switch to Wayland. Well, first of all, I've switched to Wayland. First of all, Wayland will never work on this old hardware. It doesn't, and also, like, Wayland is, like, only supporting new stuff, and that also in the least efficient ways. Plus, it's not even feature complete. I still, like, even on this modern, and that's the thing, people just, like, switch to Wayland. First of all, Wayland is all over old Wayland is a much shittier project than Xorg. And even so, this is Wayland. But first of all, it's crashing every day it's crashing on the Steam Deck. It's here in the corner. Like, let's switch to the latest greatest stuff. The latest greatest stuff is not even stable on the Steam Deck. Like, sure, I can use it for 24 hours, but then it crashes. If I use the latest greatest Wayland with Steam Deck, AMD Zen stuff, and which should be the best first class supported thing, it's not even stable. But this is Wayland, and one feature, first of all, Wayland is a much messier mess than X3 ever was. Like, have you seen all the portals and whatnot, and complexity and not even supporting old hardware. But the next thing is, even on the latest, this is the latest and greatest. This is the latest RDNA 3 GPU in a, yes, not latest, because the latest is my build server. This is my abundant build server. This is only a Ryzen 3950X, not my 7950X. So on the nearly latest RDNA 3 GPU, I still don't even have global hotkeys. Yes, it has nothing to do. I'm only saying because like, yeah, this old shit. Like, no, the latest and greatest, and I still don't have global hotkeys, which yes, maybe works in some GNOME Matter and whatnot protocol and whatnot. Fact is, I cannot global hotkey OBS things. Like and this worked in Xorg, right? Like the future is since 10 years, it's the future. Only recently it started to work a little bit. It's so amazing. It took 10 years to rewrite and now it barely works and not on old hardware. And you don't have global keyboard. How is it acceptable? I could globally switch themes. Like, why do I need to mess around there with the mouth here and switch scenes there? Because Wayland doesn't even have global. Like, how? I don't understand priorities. Like, it took 10 years even to get some webcam shit working and some other, like, hey, want to do a screenshot or screen sharing? Yeah, this is another protocol that we need to work on for 10 years, and like maybe you get it in some years. And then in some combinations of, and by the way, have you seen the mess that is Wayland? Because every compositor is implementing its own Wayland shit and incompatible protocols. Like, in my opinion, objectively or subjectively or whatnot, all in all, Wayland is kind of sort of even messier because like it's a complete mess. Every compositor implements their own keyboard handling and GPU stuff. Oh, I just lost here in what do you even show now? So much to all the people say, just use the latest shit. Like, and the latest shit only supports the latest and barely works and a feature incomplete and optimized from Bird. It was only a switch. Lack of features going to reinvent the wheel like 60. So let's see. PowerPC T2 has patches to support building on Itanium video cover deleted from my line thing. That were what you're saying. PowerPC, the video cards that were deleted from mainline Linux just shows right now. Link Discord, please give me a link. So this is a token of dollar appreciation of financing all our work somehow. So can't talk with everyone for free all day long. So Discord is here on GitHub, and then here you can also sponsor me on GitHub, follow and sponsor, and which also not enough people do. And then here is Patreon for at least $1 of appreciation of having access to the increasingly best tech forum on the internet, on all of YouTube. And so let's see, nothing, only getting all things. It's not for nothing. If he's the only one getting, it will be for nothing. Trying to all things working, that is unsustainable. Yeah, so the thing is, I rather would continue writing a microkernel, because like if with Linux everything deleting, like why should I work supporting all the stuff if by the way, online making on hardware, like probably it would even be more secure than on new hardware probably. But so like given all the deletion and hate, I rather write truly maintainable, much, in my opinion, much better academic. The thing is, like the YOLO and free desktop stuff in Wayland, it's like self-educated wannabe specialists YOLO some, like instead of making an overall good software architecture design, the people just hobbyly clobber YOLO together some random shit and call it the best invention since sliced bread, when it's just some abundant, half-working, 10-year-old to be rewritten stuff, and call it the best invention since sliced bread. And so I would rather write more readable, more well-defined software like a microkernel that all the experts, Andreas Tenbaum and Liedke and stuff, L4 microkernel, like where professional research was done and shown, it would be amazing if just people would concentrate on writing a more amazing OS, right, with all the security and maintenance improvements. It is easy to delete when it's not your work. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, it's just people come there, like new people come there, it's like, nah, old crap, let's delete. Like, maybe don't touch it. Like, if it would not have been all deleted, it would still work. Like it, but yeah. Plus, of course, all the bloated stuff. The crazy stuff is, I mean, you've seen how much, I'm not the only one, right? GNOME 4, KDE 4, and the 5 version, and like it took 20 years to make modern KDE and GNOME at least halfway decent, like, and all the Ubuntu Unity forks and Mir and whatnot, like stuff so amazing, everyone forks it because like stuff realistically is so crappy that everyone forks it because like everyone, I don't like it, bloated and whatnot, like let's invent the next windowing server, let's invent the next desktop thing. So like, yeah, am I the only dissatisfied? No, like the cosmic desktop people, oh, everything is shit, let's write a new desktop in Rust. Like, so don't blame me to be the messenger when the Rust people is like, nah, have you seen all this cursed C code? We need to start reinforcing. It's like, don't believe me, believe the Redux people, believe the cosmic desktop people. I'm just not agreeing that Rust is an amazing language. So I'm sorry. Pedro enjoys this rumbling. So what are the advantages of Windows NT kernel over Linux based on experience? Okay, I can't. It's also pointless. Like, this live stream is already too long. I cannot. Like, where did I even park that here? Oh, right here. It's probably already 1 hour or 1.5 hours. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, if we first I present this, I'm not. We see how this video runs. This video I'm talking about Futo. I didn't make a video talking about Futo. I talked about fair licensing because it's the thing. If I save the world and write an amazing microkernel and windowing system, like if I just BSD or GPL or MIT licenses, how should I ever make money out of this? When are we forking? Yeah, I mean, theoretically we would need to fork the last Xorg server that didn't have XAA deleted. But then what are my thoughts about Redux OS? In principle, good. In theory, I don't like Rust and Cargo. And I'm advocating for memory safe languages for 20 years already. So I for 20 years already say let's at least use C++, but all the C people, C is fine. We do pointer arithmetic and manual YOLO string stuff all over and unreadable and reinventing C with classes. And it's like, if the Linux people keep deleting, then one day TempleOS will be like one day Linux will be worse than TempleOS because like TempleOS is not moving and Linux is deleting and regression. Would it be easier to read in real time if you were translated to German? Would it be easier to read? No, it wouldn't. English is like, why should I read German? Like English, I'm a native English speaker. I speak English all along wide. Like, no, it's just information overload and time and telling stories. I don't know why people, like, do you know there are only a handful of people speaking German in this world and most of them are unsuccessful losers. Usually Nazis and other everything went worse towards when psyop activists. Please explain before enlightened. I know the code so well. Yeah, I know how to code and I need to deal with other people's low quality X3 code. No, talking like usually more composed open. Yeah, it's not Linus. It is. I mean, to be fair, Linus broke the most things except deleting 386 and SunSpark version 7, which he didn't personally do. All this stuff is actually ironically broken in userland, right? Like the easier to maintain in user space stuff, like the Linux kernel has the least regressions. All the X3 and Xorg stuff is the most deleted and feature crippled. And what Linux psyopt, not really sure what you're talking about. Normal Solaris will bring master. Normal Solaris will bring it to the activist. What are you freaking talking about? Most because vocal are much louder. Most of it's mostly because you mean vocal minority of delete all the old stuff. And yeah, the thing is also like this they don't ask the users, right? Like nobody asks, like if the X3 people would ask the users, do you want feature complete drivers that are fast or should we delete it? Of course, every Linux user, except if they are infiltrated by Microsoft and Apple, which Linux user in a survey would always ask, yes, please delete the fully working drivers so that we have a non-working, crippled and slow experience. Like, and this is like just because like this elite hipsters at Red Hat and SUSE, let's delete. Like deleting is easier than like, the code doesn't look, delete. oh, I see a typo there. Better delete it fast, right? Like fixing a typo more difficult than deletion, so delete. And the problem is that most of the open source people don't speak up. There is little I mean, sure, everyone could contribute, but who does? You see, as you see here, with all the hardware support, except the NetBSD people, why are the NetBSD people having older versions of Xorg? Because they don't have all the stuff deleted. And so other people know very well and keep it working. But like the normal people, the normal secretaries, the normal CEO who would want to run Linux, he is not directly feedback writing to Bugzilla like, hey KDE, can you keep my old Sony Vaio alive that I purchased 8 years ago? They only install the latest Ubuntu and wonder like, why does this shit not work anymore? Like, it was working fine last year. I upgrade Ubuntu for the latest and greatest security stuff, and now my shit isn't working anymore. Like, no Linux user ever wanted that. And in my opinion, this was not what Linux was started for. Linux was started to make stuff work and not to delete stuff. And then the argument, yeah, the old code is there somewhere, but yeah, first of all, nobody's going to hunt and resurrect this old code. And even if we, like I do, then it's still unisolated, because like we can't even make it isolated anymore unless we restore all the Xorg code you intentionally deleted for cleanliness and security. Like, yeah, many comments. Like, I need to, like, basically we need to find a solution for this comments. This is comment overload, which is amazing. Like, yeah, the bigger we grow, the more comments we get. We need to find some, like, yeah, I mean, Linus Sebastian also doesn't read every comment, so we need to find some. Isn't even benefit of deleting this. Fake developers can't really deleting code. This is, yeah, this is so true. There is no benefit. These drivers are just no broken. And the argument is like, I'm not using it, I'm the latest resident. If you're not using that, why do you bother about the old drivers? Just don't touch them. They were, I tell you a secret, a tiny little secret. The old drivers were actually all working. They were all fine. They were even fast. They were fast, probably faster than a Windows driver. This is just like, I probably should get here into, like, yeah, the irony is, like, instead of like showing how I fix things, like if we make a daily Linux vlog, open source vlog, that probably would be more successful. What are the advantages of your dream microkernel running on Linux? What do you mean running on Linux? My dream microkernel would not run on Linux. The advantages would be security and easier development of not having each driver in the kernel. Firefox is after getting Chrome breaks up. Firefox is going after Chrome breaks up. Is going after Chrome breaks up with Google. Sometimes your sentences are hard to parse. I'm not sure if, like, with Trump becoming new president, I'm not sure. Like, probably, I mean, all signs are so corrupt that the breakup of Google might not even happen under Trump. Beside, I think Mozilla. So the problem is your sentence too short, too few subject and objects. Make sentences and writing great again. Because like this, I don't even know what you mean. Mozilla also argued in court, like, of please judge, don't break up Google because we need our money also. So yeah, also obviously running a browser on just donations from Google is not sustainable and scalable. And organizations which show proudly how much code they changed in lines, which great, like, yeah, this developers in, like, wouldn't even surprise me if in code reviews they stand out because, like, they touched the most code, like they just deleted it. I hope in code measurement things they should actually, and this was like maybe some code measurement at IBM and SUSE actually, like, if you delete stuff good, like no. This is just ridiculous. Be honest, today's CPUs, even just software rendering, should be completely snappy. Yeah, and it is not, right? There's really no excuse for slow. Yeah, and but even if sure, if you use a Epic Threadripper Ryzen, maybe it's relatively. But the fact is, like, even software rendering is, like, usually if I have some software fallback, it's freaking slow. Sorry, meant SM712FB. Yeah, I have this OCO, yeah, so, and not SRS. So the only bug, I mean, but yeah, it's also unisolated, right? Like almost, or except, maybe it has a few EXA hooks, but EXA is only 2D solid blending and copy, which many hardware cannot even do completely or blending and stuff. Microsoft better hardware backward compatibility. Yeah, and that's Abdul writes, in fact, Microsoft better hardware compatibility, backward compatibility than Linux. Like, what are we doing here? And that's exactly the thing. And so many Linux and open source could be the #1 go-to dream OS of like everything and vintage generators hardware, but no, vintage because they break everything. Imagine a world where all of this that was working is working, and everyone on YouTube who would do 8-bit, 16-bit and vintage generator, they would with pleasure install Linux because everything is working and highly optimized. Instead, no, they install some Windows 95 or Windows XP for their vintage generator programming. Then this could have been Linux. And if people and students, and think about the children, they take an old PC from the basement or from and wanna tinker, and it's not supported by Linux. It would be fully supported. Think about the children. They can't even mess with PCs because the second-hand old PC is not supported anymore. Like, and then this kid comes away with like, this Linux is shit because like I spent a whole day and didn't get graphic work. It's like, yeah, dude, it's deleted. Which operating system is it? Well, I only use T2 Linux, but which is the most unbroken, so it will be an even worse experience mostly of that. Personally, own a dozen of P3 consoles. Everything works perfectly. The problem is that the power PC is not maintained. What do you mean? P3 T2 Linux works on P3. We maintain it. I'm not sure what you mean. I mean, sure, upstream it's broken, but it works in T2 because we fix all things. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and join superior T2 and P3 Linux. Something you can't really run any modern on a single core, 2 GB even with SSD. Most browsers today require. Yeah, and that's crazy that you can't even run like it's absolutely mind-blowingly. It's a fail of open source and computing society. How is it acceptable? Sure, it's 10-year-old crap, but as a comment there, that you can't, like, how is it acceptable that on a single core CPU with 2 gigs of memory, even with SSD, you can't run a modern browser? And like, yeah, I mean, I tried even worse. I mean, sure, that is completely old not to expect like snappy shit. Sure, but I would expect at least, like, as you say, a core duo, like the first MacBook, like even the first MacBook, which is 15 years old, dual core, 64-bit, 2 gigs of memory, or maybe even 4, and Intel graphics, but no, it's completely mostly unisolated and mostly and modern. How are modern browsers, like they work on everything, refactoring and cleaning and refactoring, and at the end of the day, browsers are slower than ever. And that, like, how is it acceptable that you can't browse? It should be so optimized. 15 years later, it should be so optimized that a normal website, not like some 3D game, but like doing your online banking and booking a flight, should be completely snappy on a dual core 2 duo stuff from 15 years ago. Like, it's absolutely ridiculously outrageous that it isn't. And that is a fail of, I mean, sure, the companies have no interest. Like, the companies want to sell you more hardware for profit and stuff, right? PowerPC was mainstream. Apple had PowerPC computers. Like, PowerPC is completely supported. Like, they only wanted to, like, just use T2 Linux already. Did I mention T2 Linux? Did I even copy and paste this here? I'm not sure if I copy and pasted this here. And by the way, we run T2 Linux, right? Like, where most things, I will probably make this driver probably work somewhat. Also not lost in my Windows. But it's still somewhat pointless. Like, even if I make this driver to mode set again, it's still somewhat pointless as it's not accelerated, so it's still not amazing. But that's the point. The point is it's not amazing anymore. Internally does not have any. AMD internally does not have any 779 XT and CI for driver. I don't know. 2020 worked on an RPA team by optimizing and running hundreds of independent browsers in the least RAM possible. Correcting with revenue, like, can't get their shit together. Current gen. No team has devices for testing. So you're telling me that they have been using RX, and no wonder people complain about AMD drivers. I mean, AMD drivers are still one of the better drivers. Like, have you seen the NVIDIA drivers? The video codecs found stuff, PS5 system is So what is a comment like PS5 system is so advanced? Does it run Linux? Also like so advanced what? It's just PC hardware in vendor locked in slimmed down stuff. So it's not particularly that amazing. Anyway, we're probably coming to an end. The problem is if I read like basically I realize my videos would be more successful if I don't half of the time read the comments. So we need to find a solution for that. Like comment in the comments what I should do with the comments. There's probably a system like 160 threads, so not people remember just G5 Apple's problems that they have no real CI problem. And also the CI, so they have continuous integration, but the continuous integration, they of course don't test on real hardware, right? Like so some of the stuff is even like in some drivers you find like CI pipeline, whatnot, and API changes, and like sometimes they even break stuff. Like it fails in our CI pipeline. Let's patch here something, but like they patch it wrong, right? And so like, hey, they do continuous integration with just like compiling this stuff. Like sure, then it's compiling, but they introduce more bugs. Like every year they introduce new bugs with the constant exchange and refactoring. How many developers? Third eye. So how many developers follow stuff and just latest. So whatever do we have here? I mean, maybe we in the future we need to let you discuss in the comments and only discuss like super thanked ones or whatnot, like $1 here or euro there keeps the comment notification. Where problems and browsers take so much money, maintain a person. I mean, it's also over-engineering, right? Like the web should also not be so complex. The devil of most things is overcomplication. Like if we wouldn't YOLO all the stuff together in JavaScript and web standards and wouldn't over-design and stuff like, but that's of course you can't tell websites and other web people of like, or Google, like first Microsoft and then Google and Apple inventing their own web stuff, and like 20 years later everything is a chaos. I mean, in the beginning web was already not amazing, and now it's total chaos overload and bugs and regressions. Zero ought to be enough VRAM for anyone. I mean, that's basically the thing, right? Like I don't know what you mean with this with 0K VRAM, but that's basically what you get. Like what you basically tell people is using. It's like, where is my here or there? Oops, sorry. Where's my freaking camera? Oh, there. Did I? Wait, what? I did this in the wrong. That's not ideal. Okay, fine. What you basically tell people: zero hardware acceleration. Like if you use old stuff for testing whatnot, zero hardware acceleration and zero VRAM is basically good enough for. It's like, yeah, just making slow stuff even slower with this simple trick. Like with this simple cleanup trick, we removed your everything. How that is the future, I don't know. Gecko Linux is smart eating 309 megabyte after boot. No, here at least 1 gig. Idle state just enable slow mode. Wanna limit amount of. I don't want to limit the amount of comments like that you discuss is fine. I'm just like I'm wondering, like I'm basically as an engineer wondering how can we optimize the comment experience for all of us so that it makes sense to interact with you. If I slow you down, I don't have comments. Like I appreciate comments. Just I'm wondering how we can optimize the full duplex back and forth answering and optimizing the video content creation and comment things. Is he streaming using that small hardware? Kinder. I also live streamed with a Steam Deck until I got annoyed by the daily AMD GPU crashes. Okay, one last look at Twitch. It's amazing so many people tuned in and subscribed. Also, if you're on YouTube new to this channel, we are also now on Twitch. Some people ask me why I do not live stream so much on YouTube anymore, and the reason is simply we have some viral videos, and we can't upset the algorithm too much, so we only stream or upload the major things. So for all the YouTube people, also we are live on Twitch, usually daily, because we have so much things to fix. As you see here, apparently, unfortunately, and Do you use Vim plugins? No, I just want to get code done. Like I don't like just let me code. Like just give me typewriter already. Like just give me any old. And the thing is, I could still, most of the people was like the latest and greatest hardware. Like no, I'm fully productive with. I would be fully productive with this stuff if it would be snappy, right? Like just give me some X terms, some alacrities. Is current GNOME good? Like in my opinion, current KDE and GNOME are both too bloated, way too bloated. Like hundreds of packages bloated. You're talking about an issue affecting perhaps 1% of the Linux base. Like, yeah, if you delete all the support, like, and by the way, do you want market share or not? Like, everyone, first of all, it's probably more than 1%. Like, maybe Linux market share would double or triple, like, if people for 10 years had the ability to use their basement and attic hardware of their parents, like all the new kids, like, the Linus Torvalds, like, we worry about our new maintainers, like, yeah, if you delete all the stuff for the new kids to use their second old test system and it doesn't work, like, then congratulations, you don't, yeah. Don't have new hardware, like, you don't have children using your Linux if all your abundant basement stuff is deleted. Talking about an issue, so it says, exit absolutely no future of succeeding enterprise. What do you mean? X is still like you talk complete nonsense. I'm really sorry to really, like, X is still primary thing. Like Wayland only recently took off a little bit, and also X was everywhere. Like it's an implementation detail. Like businesses don't care if it's X11 or Wayland. Like what nonsense are you even freaking talking? It's completely misguided argument. It's not even an argument. It's just random rumbling. Many people probably still today on gaming and whatnot, like X is still a thing. Despite 10 years of the Wayland future, I mean, sure, X is only a thing on modern hardware because everything is mostly deleted, but like, I don't know what it's like, this is pointless. And by the way, even still, there was no point of actively deleting and breaking all this stuff. How many years did it become X to become stable? X is stable since 1990. I don't know what you're talking about. Like X was more stable when I came to Linux in 1996. In 1996, X was more stable on my SIS graphic, integrated graphic, or my Matrox Millennium, or my S3 Verge. Like in 1996, X was more stable than Wayland today. Like I had the uptime of years instead of a day with AMD GPU on a Steam Deck. Like what are you even talking about? Like how many years did it become to Wayland to become stable? Oh, it's still not stable, and it's still not feature complete. Like how many years did it take for Wayland to become feature complete? Like having global hotkeys that I can switch scenes with. How is it that with Wayland, the latest and greatest shit in 2024, I cannot hold global hotkey switch? And if you have a solution for that, tell me. I mean, maybe it works with some Mutter only GNOME protocol of stuff, but I also don't want to run Mutter just. It's like, and by the way, how is it acceptable that each Wayland thing has different features and protocols and stuff, and many things are not compatible, and like all the special tools and whatnot for this special Wayland compositor and stuff. You sound like people like, I'm not even using systemd. Like systemd is a complete piece of utter random garbage. And what is the problem with systemd? Like people with systemd have literally more problems than I have with system sys5 unit. Like you sound like drinking Kool-Aid each day, getting nothing done, and like telling people who get stuff done it's stable. Like your new Kool-Aid is better than stuff that's working. It's like systemd. By the way, systemd is basically the x386 of shitty code mountain. I'm really sorry to bring it to you. Like, how is it even an argument? Systemd started a computing revolution. What revolution? Systemd is a garbage init system with every feature mangled into there. Like this is even complete nonsense. Like there is a reason people hate systemd. Maybe people hate systemd as much as Wayland. Can you shortly elaborate Red Hat and SUSE and other big Linux companies adopt tech like systemd, Wayland, others like this? What is there? I mean, sure, modernize them. Their argument is always modernizing nicer, but like I don't. I mean, sure. Initially, systemd had some like doing things cleaner, but like decades later, it's not that clear anymore. It's like how is it acceptable that some UDEV thing is in systemd and everything else? Like how is it acceptable that you have the DHCP things in systemd? Like this is completely bad software design. This is this is just some narcissist or egomanic people. How is it even? I basically need to more expert English. Was it? I don't even. So like it's. What is it even? A selfish. Whatnot people of like not invented here. Let's like this is not invented here. Job security of ever reinventing the wheel. It's reinventing wheels without much progress. And at the end of the day, being differently cursed. It's also more features, more fast. The irony is today system D is, in the meantime, system D is slower. Just like initially with less features, LVM was faster. Now LVM is slower than GCC and similar. Like initially when you just have system D, initially it was faster and now it's so bloated, now it's slower. So congratulations. It's good, not in my opinion. Gonna stop and honestly listen to you. Real benefits did you get from X11 in the past 15 years compared to how many issues it caused? Well, it caused no issues. Like also we got 20 years ago, we got transparent cursors, we got compositing, we got alpha blending, like all the features. Xorg is mostly feature complete. Xorg had everything. People just like, what feature did you get from Wayland? Except like waiting 10 years that it's finally stable, halfway decent usable, still not feature complete, and deleted support for old drivers. And so comment there is like, this is so unfortunately based. Happy to hear that. Thank you. I mean, the problem, that's the thing. People only drink Kool-Aid, like boys and girls. Drugs are not good for you. You repeat marketing speech, baseless, unfounded marketing speech. Complete. Like what problem has X ever done for you? None. There were some security issues similar to security issues in Wayland or systemd. There are even security issues in Rust. So like we rewrite everything in systemd, Wayland, and Rust, and we have no security. Of course, people write code. Humans being humans, they write unsafe code and logic bugs. There are even logic bugs and unsafe code in Rust and Cargo, and so in Wayland. So what has Wayland ever brought to you except lower performance, less features, and 10 years later still not feature complete? And I don't even have global hotkeys anymore. Could you look at DM on Discord? Just send. I'll take a look later. No DM strings left from right. We'll check later. Thanks for joining Discord and stuff. There's good reason video by Ben Ryan. What Linux conf was go watch it called what has Unix cost us? Could you look at the DMs? Okay, well, could you make AI run? Looking forward to your AI. T2 ASMR coming right in. Happy to the power of free software stuff. It's free software. It's free software, just fork it. Yeah, the problem is now I need to fork a 10-year-old version. Of course I could fork a 10-year-old version, like, but that's what the NetBSD people. But the problem is people, like paid developers in companies also don't need to cripple and destroy and bug and regress all the state of open source things. If someone would have told me that they completely ruin Xorg, I would have forked it 10 years ago. But I always believed in the good of people. But 25 years later, I need to realize many people don't do that much good, unfortunately. Not sure vintage market is big enough for make a difference. Need stable sane desktop KDE, but unstable pre-installs. Yeah, the problem, as I said, is also, by the way, this means like, have you seen how snappy KDE was in the beginning of this video? This means, imagine if such efficient software you could have for your current hardware. If you wonder, why does the Intel entry level things or AMD's last year stuff is so slow? Because we have so bloated and barely isolated things. Like you have seen, man, I could start it again. You've seen how this KDE flew on this completely cursed old hardware, and what you don't like. Even if you say, even so, I don't agree with this assessment. Old stuff, bugs and whatnot. But even if it were true, which it isn't, think about how faster and more efficient your modern hardware would be. Everything, you would have enterprise Star Trek and TNG level hardware. You click something and it's there already, and not like modern software. Like, have you seen Firefox and Chrome on modern hardware? I really need to, like, yeah, but what should I do? Like, so much, I need, I mean, it's also the premise, also not only, I also, like, now today I deal with 2 chats. I was already thinking it's probably chat overload, but it is. I mean, it's basically open panel discussions, like if we were in some town hall discussions, you would also need to raise your arm and stuff. But I'm working on this. But the thing is also, if I only read comments, then the quality of the video probably also not that great if I only read random comments. Most people got a restream for that, combine both chats and display other Twitch and each other's name. But restream, combining, the problem is if I concentrate on talking, explaining something, I cannot, it helps nothing if I have all the comments on the stream. Could you look at okay, I had this already. Last question, are the pronouns for real? Which pronouns? What do you even mean? Think both X11 and Wayland. Also, like, you comments often too short, subject, objects, make sentences great again, and think about the churn in both X11 and Wayland. Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, X11, I mean, but X11, like, even back in the day or even today, the network transparency of X11 was amazing. It still is. And then people at Wayland pipe network pathing retrofitted there when nowadays, like earlier, I could always just I test something on some embedded system or server. I could always display some other thing and run some. I mean, even that you can't do easily anymore. In Wayland pipe, way pipe thing, there's also more difficult to use. I mean, yeah, you could. I mean, I agree that the X386 code base was not particularly amazing, but that has nothing to do with the X11 protocol. You could, like, similar to auto-generating protocol handlers with Wayland, you could also simply write better X11 protocol handling, which actually they did, right? They actually reinvented libx11 in XCB, right? The irony is, before they abandoned Xorg, they made that a little bit better and just to destroy it. Wayland for now, because it works so secure and the protocol are horrible. Yeah, I mean, Wayland is not amazing, and that's it took them 10 years to reinvent the wheel for something that's not amazing, not feature complete, and doesn't support old stuff anymore. Please take a look at what I sent you in Discord. I want to see what stream thinks too. What do you mean? I totally don't get what you mean by this. What do you have on YouTube? Could you DM Discord? Wow, do you overload me with this Discord now or what? What offending things did you send on Discord now? It's not like I would want that live on this channel. What do you have here? Message request, accept DM, modernize logo and grade. Are you some T2 set thing of? Okay, I probably take a look later. Probably, huh? What else do we have here in? Thanks for the modernized. I mean, it's. Yeah, we do this later. Otherwise, this stream is already too long. Discord, we said this already multiple times. Yes, I need to link that then even more. It's on GitHub. RX are here linked off. We would appreciate a token of, wait, what? Sponsored, but no. Here of Patreon things here, right? Need to finance the purchase of vintage and retro hardware and electrons and heating and food somehow. Need to somehow stay alive. Comment there, they think BSD will take over. No, BSD is not better. It's an worse C quality with less features and less performance. Hey, if you find security issues system you have bug bounty program can report. I'm not interested in reviewing system security. And what has it to do with being slow or more losses of accumulated nonsense? I don't want to review this stuff. You can create X input tool for Wayland. I also don't need have to. At least OBS in gaming seems, at least with AMD GPU on my laptop. Yeah, in theory it works, except that it crashes. I mean, it just crashes. I mean, it's more stable on the AMD GPU, dedicated GPU. Comment there, yeah, most funny. So best comment, one new me. Best comment, don't worry, in 20 years they're working on deleting Wayland for Tryman. Yeah, exactly. The good news is, I hear you heard it here first. Totally agree. The good news is, in 10 or 20 years, they will rewrite Wayland anyway for SpaceX or whatnot. So, trying Wayland stuff, first missing X over SSA, yeah, exactly. So, OpenD is slow, don't care, like, yeah, so BSDs have even lesser old code quality than Linux, less features and performance and stuff. So what else do we have here? System boots very quickly, basically services get wired up before they even start fully. Strangely, each time I have some system with systemd, it is slower than T2, so YOLO. Also, even if it were faster. Also, there are other parallel init systems. In general, like, even if systemd would be good, which it isn't, I would still prefer a more modular thing and not like, why do they need to put everything in systemd, like encrypted home and UDEF? Like, why even, like, in my opinion, it's already completely unacceptable that they deleted single UDEF and Borg. Like, it's basically, it's a systemd, it's a Borg cube of accumulating everything. And like stuff that's not Unix, of having small maintainable modules of one feature and one thing to fix. Work innovation stuff, but I don't understand. Or the hate on X works fine. Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, sure. I understand the code wasn't amazing, but like the code could have been improved. Like, it's sure they have, like, in the old code they found a security issue here or there, but like, you don't need to delete everything on. You don't need to saw the est your the tree you're sitting on. It's just ridiculous. And also, like, even if you rewrite Wayland, even if you invent Wayland, you don't need to delete. You didn't have to break all of X, leaving X broken behind, right? It's absolutely mind-blowingly ridiculous. I mean, plus, of course, all the older 3D drivers, right? I mean, then we even have, like, last summer working 3D drivers, delayed previous video. It's just like, yeah. And again, at this rate, Windows has better driver compatibility than Linux of deleting all this stuff, which, yeah. Chrome allocates terabytes address space, stuff, or whatever. Fedora sucks. Seems like it's to be in Linux. All fork BSD will prevent drivers being X11 airline pro can't prevent an app from controlling the window of another. I'm not sure, but you could have blocked other window controls in some server. I mean, you could also a slightly improved incompatible, slightly incompatible X12, where some in the meantime undesired things were removed. But the other thing is also, like, if first of all, usually your system should be secure, so there should not be, like, over the internet someone coming to your, logging into your system and moving windows. And like on my system, if I want to move windows programmatically, it's like arguing a little bit strange argument of, like, if someone logs into your system and stuff and then you can move Windows is like, yeah, it's not like you allow external internet access, remote access to your X11 desktop thing or Wayland. So yeah, that's basically it. Probably doesn't get much better than that. As usual, I'm sorry that it became too long. I just tried to discuss here with the community in this comment overload, which is crazy that we have, which is, yeah, at least our video things are growing. Amazing that too many people tuned in. We basically can run some outro music and continue fixing. I think we will live stream. You probably want to share, like, and subscribe on Twitch. We will probably do some unit testing and final release testing on latest and greatest. That's the thing. T2. Remember the increasingly last Linux distribution you will ever need, because, like, somehow we are the most continuous integration and all hardware. Even latest and greatest state of the art. AMD Zen 1, Zen 2, Zen 3, Zen 4, Intel crap, and VR and Centauro, and latest and greatest. RISC-V and stuff, right? Pioneer 7 nanometer latest. And that's the thing. Of course I want to support the latest and greatest, and of course we support the latest and greatest, but you don't need to destroy all the old stuff. Like why? Like, why do we happily celebrate deletion? Like, why? Why? This is like, you know who celebrates. Last but not least, first of all, think about two things. two last things. First of all, think about the children who want to have fun with vintage and retro or test Linux on their old parents' PC, like their Core 2 Duo MacBook that is now half-assed supported, right? And second, the only one who celebrates the deletion of open source drivers and clean code of aka removing features and hardware installation is Bill Gates and the Microsoft Windows team. Because for everything that works less amazing in Linux, they open champagne on their private yacht or their private plane and celebrate their billions of profit in their Bill and Gates and Melinda philanthropy money laundering foundation. That's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed to learn something. Don't forget to subscribe. Let's find some amazing music for you, which I probably have here in this absolutely crazy information overload. Basically, I need to rename this also. This probably was here, right, or here. And that's the thing. The old stuff, most of the old stuff is perfectly fine. Like for example, here's a 25-year Sony. Like you still don't get, like, even if you spend 600 euro at Sennheiser, you don't get a better headset than 99. And this headset's so good, so they still sell it. You still can get it new, but this is 25-year-old and it sounds as good as a 600 euro Sennheiser. I tested this. You can trust me. So much to vintage retro, and people also like similar to vintage and retro Porsche and Ferrari, right? Have you heard of all the people who crash and demolish the vintage and retro Porsche and Ferrari? Exactly. By the way, one of those AI songs was amazing. Which one was it even? Let's which one was? Actually, one wasn't it. Is it? I forgot. I mean, let's see.
Circuits hum, electric whispers, battles to come. Sony's gates, they stand so tall, but every fortress has its fall. Nintendo's codes, a little to crack. Xbox runs, there's no turning back. Through silicon veins, the glitches flow. Secrets buried deep below.
Yes, and thank you all too for listening. Hope you enjoyed, learned something, and see you next time for all the continued great stuff to come.
Through the glitches, I see the light. Firmware sings its hidden song. I'll rewrite the rules where they went wrong. Signal hunters breaking through. Every byte leads to something new. Sony, Nintendo, Xbox in sight. The glitch is the weapon, and we own the night. Oscilloscopes trace the electric streams. Debuggers reveal the buried dreams. Exploits born from a single spark. A digital dance in the endless dark. Packet storms like thunder they break. Rootkits hidden in the paths we take. Through the voltages we wield our might. A new dawn born from the endless night. Registers whisper, find the key. In every glitch, a destiny. Under the surface, power hides. With every breach, the truth abides. Signal hunters breaking through. Every byte leads to something new. Sony, Nintendo, Xbox in sight. The glitch is the weapon, and we own the night. From hardware faults to firmware tales, tracing circuits, we lift the veils. Security's flaws, a challenge grand, a hacker's story, a coder's stand. Through exploits found, we learn, we fight. In the voltages, we find our light. No platform safe, no wall too high. In the digital wilds, we touch the sky. there's battles to come. Sony's gates, they stand so tall, but every fortress has its fall. Nintendo's codes, a riddle to crack. Xbox realms, there's no turning back. Through silicon veins, the glitches flow, secrets buried deep below. Low-level sparks ignite the fight. Through the glitches, I see the light. Firmware sings its hidden song. I'll rewrite the rules where they went wrong. Signal hunters break